So I am here a research scientist at the University of California, Irvine, and in the Department of Physiology and Biophysics. So yeah, I would like to. Yeah, this is how the city looks like. So it is very fascinating, right? So yeah. And I will talk a little bit about because I am into the field of biology and physics, the interface between that. So I will try to explain about why we should study biophysics and what biophysics is all about. Um, so to begin with, so you in this picture you may have seen a light, right? Um, a light is generally we call it as we call it as energy. So the energy comes from where? So the energy usually comes from the sun, right? Because of the sun, you are able to see in the daytime, and at the nighttime, it's the moon. So, so without the sun, we cannot see anything. And with the help of the sun, we are able to develop solar panel, right? So these are the applications of the physics. And the another example is okay. And another example is you may like to eat apple, right? You have seen the apple, and apple plant trees and everything they cannot grow without sunlight. So they also need energy. That energy they got it from sunlight. So you may have studied in your biology class the photosynthesis, right? So the photosynthesis, it's the conversion of light energy into their food system, carbon dioxide, and they utilize in the plant. So have you ever thought about the Newton? You have studied in your, I think, physics textbook, Newton first law, Newton second law, Newton third law, and Newton got inspiration from when the apple fall down. He says like, why the apple is not blowing up? Why the apple doesn't go upside? Why it is going down? So there is something called force and gravitation. So you have studied in your physics textbook. So the force is something that is required everywhere. Without force, and force is also another form of energy. So without your energy, you cannot apply the force, and without the force, you cannot do anything. You cannot walk, you cannot move, you cannot speak. So this is one thing. This is physics, and so and then tension, right? You in your life you also have tension, you worry for your exams and all these things. So these are all related to one another. So this is how our energy are consumed. And then pressure, you may have a pressure of exam, the pressure, a pressure from your friends to do different stuff, to do naughty things or to do good things. Pressure is always there. So these are all force in some form of the another, and all these things are coming together in the energy. So without your energy, if you didn't get food, if you don't eat food, you will not get energy and all this. So this energy we studied in physics, right? But our body cannot also function without energy. So we eat food, we eat dal, roti, chawal, all these things we eat because we want energy. So that from that energy, the pressure, tension, force is everything is come into being. And then, and another example is pollution. So yeah, I was there in Delhi for almost 10 years, and I know Delhi is a very polluted city. So how does the pollution? Pollution is the excess of the smoke and other dirty stuff. And you may have heard about the overdose of drugs. Some people, they consume excess of their medicine. So when the medicine they consume more than what is required, it is called overdose. So that is also not good. So you may have seen this smoke that is coming from this chimney from a factory, and it goes to other places. So you know that this process of moving off the smoke from one place to another is called diffusion, right? Diffusion, because it moved from higher concentration to lower concentration. So diffusion also take place inside our body. So just not in the physical sense. So everything that is less or that is more than what is required is not good for you. So you should remember these things. And another example is the river system. See how beautiful the river are. The river are also following. They flow through with certain energy. The river flow from most of the river flow from north to south, or east to west or west to east. So in your general knowledge, you may have studied which river flow from west to east and north to south. For example, I think Krishna and Godavari river flows from west to east, and the other river flows from south, from the east to west. So just like Ganga River, Brahmaputra River flows from north to south, like that. So they carry energy when they follow, when they are flowing through the certain paths. And then, and this is, you in your laboratory, you may have used a beaker that is divided into two solution. One is of higher concentration and other is of lower concentration. And if you put a beaker, you divide the beaker into two portions using a membrane that you call it semi-permeable membrane. You have studied in your biology class that a plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane, right? That semi-permeable means it can allow some movement. It doesn't completely block the movement. So it flows from higher concentration to lower concentration. So in solution, just like I have told you in the diffusion of the smoke, the water solution also flows from higher concentration to lower concentration. So in solution, we call it osmosis. So in your textbook, you may have studied in your biology textbook as well as in your chemistry textbook, osmosis. So electrolysis, all these things happen. And you for your drinking water, you may have used a filter. So the filter is very important. So in our body also consists of a filter in order to filter the dirty stuff or useless stuff, so that we can be able to excrete out. So the filter also looks like this. They are also semi-permeable. They don't completely block it. So, and then you may have seen this. So this is a kidney. So see, the kidney is also has a filter. They also filter whatever you drink and whatever you eat, especially kidney filter in the form of solution. So whichever is bad for your body and which is excess, the kidney filter it and they throw out in your excretory system. So our body is directly related to physics. So don't think that physics is only for studying the natural law and only engineering students should study physics. So it is not like that. So physics can be applied to biology. If you understand physics, then you understand biology. And if you understand biology properly, then you can also understand what the physics is trying to say. So physics is very helpful in trying to understand our body system. So here, because of the filtration system, diffusion, all these things, they are a kind of law that particle or substance move from higher concentration to lower it's never a biology. It is either it was a physics or a chemistry law, then they apply to our body system, biological system. And then, so you may have heard about this isotonic solution. and then hypotonic solution, and then hypertonic solution. So especially when you are given injection, those who have got injection, they never give you a hypertonic or a hypotonic solution. They give you a isotonic solution. Isotonic means your blood has a certain pH or a certain concentration, so they match with your blood, so that it become equal. The concentration of the medicine, the solution, the injection you are going to get, and your blood pH should be equal. Then that is called isotonic. So if you supplied more than the hypotonic, then the cell or whatever, it will become bigger in size. So when your blood vessels or arteries become bigger, then it may get burst. So it is not good. So that's why we always use in the hospital, when they give you injection, they use the isotonic solution. So these all are related to physics, right? So if you give extra pressure or extra solution, then it is harmful to your body. So we applied into the biology, and we for our welfare, or human welfare, and our for usefulness in medicine. So we applied this kind of logic and laws. So basically, these are physical laws, but we applied in biology. And then these you may have seen in your chemistry textbook, or somewhere also in physics also. The electrolyte system, the cathode, anode, they move from the anode to the cathode, and the cathode to the anode, and they accumulate. And this is how your gold jewelries are purified. So this is also one form. Then so in the same way, our body is also filtering our food. They are digested in our digestive system, and it goes to our stomach. Our liver filters all the dirty stuff that is not useful, that is excess. The liver filter it, and it pass on to the kidney. Again, the kidney also filter it, and your lungs and your heart also purifies your blood. So your heart are also functioning like a pump or as a filter that purify your blood. So you may have studied in your biology. So it purify your blood. So it all works in the principle of physics. So if we fail to understand what physics is trying to tell you, then we may misunderstood how our body functions. So physics is very important to study biology. And then, yeah, you may have see the battery, the car battery, the Excite or the inverter battery, if some of them you might have at your home. So these are all kind of, they store energy for future use. So they are also called capacitor. If you have study some electrical laws, Kirchhoff laws, and some other laws are there. So they store energy so that you can use when there is a load shedding or a blackout, when the electricity, the power is not coming, then you on your inverter. So they store energy, and then you can use it for inverter. So in the same way, our body also, our human body is electrically charged. We call it, and it's a negatively charged. When you have rub your pen or pencil with your fingers, and then you try to put a little paper, white paper, where they try to stick together. So these are the magnetic properties. So these are all the development of charge. We call it charge. So you may have seen the battery also. This we use it for the pencil battery, for the remote, TV remote, and other stuff. So these are all in the form of energy is stored. So our body also, in our body also, there is something called cell, right? Our bodies consist of cell, and cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of life. We call it, right? So cell can survive by itself. It has all the machine, and the cell is surrounded by something called a layer called plasma membrane. You have heard about fluid mosaic model of the cell membrane, right? So the cell membrane consists of two layers, and these two layers, just like I give you the example of the battery, so it can store energy, and it acts as a capacitor. So, so in between that, if you okay, so it and this the yeah, and it consists of a resistor also. The ion channel here, what I wrote ion channel, is regarded as a resistor. If you represent in, I will show you the electric circuit later. So they open and they close depending upon the potential. You may have studied about the potential, like electric potential, magnetic potential, right? So these are all energy. So magnetic, kinetic energy, potential energy. So these they possess a potential energy, and this potential energy, the change in the potential energy, drive the ion channel to open or close, and they act as a resistor. Like a resistor, and this is how our cells functions, and they are able to produce energy inside our cell. The energy that you know that it is called ATP, right? So ATP is manufactured and synthesized in this manner. So you can see at the left side that the human body consists of the digestive system. So our human body also acts like a fermenter. You know fermentation, how the ferment is, how your dahi, yeah, how the dahi is made, how the curd is made. So the curd, you made it in the absence of oxygen, and then it get due to the enzymatic activity called lactase, it get converted to the milk get converted to curd, that is dahi. So in the same way, when you eat your food, it is stored in your stomach, and then inside your stomach, many enzymes are there which degrade and digest the food, and then it is converted into energy. So it is like a fermenter. If you visit some factory, just like a factory of alcohol and beverage, those who manufacture beer and soda, they also use this principle. So our body is also like a fermenter. And then, yeah, this is the electrical circuit which I show you. So there is something called Ohm's law, which you have studied. V is equal to IR, and when you convert it, then the current is equivalent to the voltage supplied divided by the resistance, right? So this is how the electrical circuit is represented, and just like I showed you before, this the plasma, the bilayer plasma membrane is also acting like this electronic circuit, and this Ohm's law can be applied to study this kind of protein, the activity, how fast, how slow, and if there is any change in the property of these proteins, then it causes lots of diseases. Some of the diseases are like the cardiac disease, your BP get high, your BP gets low, because there is a fault, there is a dysfunctional your ion channel got dysfunction. So this membrane is affected, they become damaged, and due to this you got so many diseases like this cardiac disease, cardiac arrhythmia, BP, stroke, for example. For all these things are occur due to the damage in these things. So these phenomena is controlled by like an electric circuit. So when the electric circuit, when your electric wire, you cut it, then the energy is not supplied. In the same way, when your membrane is damaged or some defect occurs, then it cannot function properly, then we got disease. Just like our electric supply, our bulb and tubes got damaged, in the same way our body also become dysfunctional, they become affected. So we take medicine to correct them and all these things. So yeah, so this is also another example that I show you, the plasma membrane and the electrical circuit that you have studied in your physics textbook, the electricity chapter, right? In the unit of electricity, you may have studied that. So this is how, and energy are stored in this plasma membrane inside the cell. Okay, and then okay, this is the representation of what has happened inside our body, inside the cell. So there is something called resting membrane potential. You
And
may have.
then, can you tell them what's the importance of this? I mean, this PPT and all that, because they are not well aware about that. So they are said that what is going on. So especially just little bit tell about what exactly it is.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay. Now, I will try to wrap it. It's about to only two more slides are there. So this is the membrane potential which goes from up to down. So this is an electrical recording. So I mean to say that these graphs are generated due to the physics law. Without physics, you won't be able to understand. So the activity that is going inside our body is recorded with a machine called biomedical instrument. So, and this is what happens inside your heart, and then these recordings are you have seen. You may have seen some of them. These kind of graphs. When you take your ECG, you may have. Taken, you may have seen this kind of graph, right? So when there is when you study this pattern, then you will be able to analyze that whether my heart is functioning well or not. So these are all application of physics, and the physics or the engineering, the biomedical engineering designed and make this instrument, and they were able to study our what is happening inside our body. And that's why what I would like to say is that uh, you cannot just say that if I'm good at biology, I can do anything. It's not like that. So a person who has a knowledge of engineering, who have a knowledge of physics, who has a knowledge of maths, can study biology, and a biology who has knowledge of a little bit, if not much, it's fine. You can still study some the physics of it, and then you can apply it in your health care system in our for the welfare of human. So yeah, so why we should study biophysics is to understand the biological system, the mathematical and the computational method
Here,
to simplify.
just a moment. Here the question is why biophysics?
Yeah.
Biophysics is trying to understand biophysical system are using a mathematical and computational method to simplify and understand complex in a biological process. Especially those who study biology, especially those who study computer, especially those who study physics, chemistry. So that's a question arise, a very important question by Daniel sir says.
So yeah, so biophysics. Why we need to study the biophysics is to understand the biological system, what is happening inside our body, why my breathing is slow, why I'm getting fever, why am I getting headache, all these things, why I'm getting heart attack, why my BP is high. We can study all these things with the help of biophysics, means we apply the physics law. And then the physicists apply concepts such as force, energy, motion, material properties to biological system, because here your blood is also flowing from one part to another. Your heart pumps it, and there is a flow, right? There is a flow, there is a movement. So how fast my blood is moving, how slow it is moving, and with what it is. So these are all physics, right? So you need to understand, and then protein folding, then cell to motility, cell movement, and then the organism development, how the organism grows from small size to bigger size. These are all physics. You can study the biology, the biology with the physics application of physics. Then it helps engineers to develop new physical tools and imaging techniques such as microscope. So the microscope you are developing, it's because of the biology. Because if there was no biology, then what is the need of microscope? So then microscope are developed by engineer and the physicists. They develop microscope, the X-ray machine. When you go to hospital, they take your X-ray so that you can see your bone is all right or not. And then MRI, you have ultrasound, then ECG, EEG, etc. to observe and analyze biological process at unprecedented level of detail. So with your naked eyes, you cannot see. So you need all these instruments. And to develop this instrument, you need the knowledge of physics as well as biology both together. And that's why the name called biophysics is there. So if you study both the biology and physics together, then that is called the biophysics. So that's why it is a very good subject, and together you can study your brain also. And when if you are able to study your brain, then you know something about how the computer also function. So these are also related to biophysics. Neuroscience, computer science, and biophysics are very closely related. So these are the very large scope. So that's why you need to know the physics and biology together. So yeah, now I'm done. So if you have any question, any doubt, then you can ask anything you want to know or you want to
Okay,
clarify. You can ask.
yeah, thank you so much for the valuable, insightful lecture. And I know there are some queries, there are some inquiries about the one by one. Maybe they are asking. Yes, who want to ask questions? Anyone? Yes, you. What is the question? Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Daniel, when the girls in tenth, listen, and she want to what is the PYQ to the etc. During the in the electrographic graph. Epics in the electrographic graph. Hello? So there's a PQT diagram of the spectrographic graph. Yeah.
This one?
This one?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, this one.
So actually, these are because when your heart is your heart pumps your blood. The heart is the pumping. It's like a pump. So it pumps your blood from time to time. So approximately, maybe it takes around 3 milliseconds or something in total. Actually, so the they call it a P wave, Q wave, R wave, S wave, and T wave also. So it is the initial phase. P wave is the initial phase when your heart started opening. They call it in BP they call it diastolic and systolic, right? So that's how the BP is measured. So but this is a greater representation, and P is the beginning of the opening of the what you call the aortic valve. If you have studied the anatomy of the heart, and then the first opening of the synovial wave or the arterial vein, that is represented by the P. And when the heart fully opens, then it shoots up. Then it is the R, and then and so these are the different stages of when the heart opens, then open and close, and then uh, it open again. So the cycle continues back to back. And below the diagram, that is how it will look like in the actual ECG graphs. So these are a different kind of wave. You will study more in detail in your if you go for higher studies in your graduate undergrads. You will study more in detail about this. But for the time being, you just understand that this is the different phases of opening and closing of a heart.
He actually pursued the biological science. It is like BSc and also medicine. Can you guide him what kind of processing? And he want to in abroad, like US, like a UK, like a China,
Mm-hmm.
Turkmenistan, some other countries. So he have some doubts about which kind of we are pursuing in higher education in the science
Oh,
field, like yeah.
okay. So, according to my opinion, as far as I have seen, yeah, uh, either we go for engineering or we go for medical. Medical means MBBS, right? So there are these are the two options, and these are the most demanding topic, just not in India but across the world. Because if you know science, they defined it in terms of a small definition. They call it STEM, STEM. The full form of STEM is science, technology, engineering, medicine. Okay, so that is what STEM: science, technology, engineering, and medicine. So medicine is what biology and other these MBBS courses are all about. So this is good. You can take medicine if you are good in biology, and if you like to become, and if you want to help other people, then medicine is good. That means biology, you have to go ahead with biology. And then if you prefer to do engineering, that's also good. So engineering and technology, they are all same. STE, they are almost all the same. So they call it science, technology, engineering, and medicine. So it is good. But at the same time, don't forget that these days, this is a modern era. So the world functions on computer. So I would advise you to have a knowledge of computer, and how to do a basic knowledge of computer coding. For example, if you have studied, have taken computer science, you may have heard about C++, Python, your computer programming language, right? So it will be very helpful, because even if you take biology, where computer is not needed much, but nowadays computer is very necessary in every field. So knowing a computer, and at the same time, yeah, in my when I was in like you, when I was in class 11, 12, I thought that I'm not so good in maths, so I will not take maths, so I take biology. So that is good. But now when I come to higher study, when I do my undergraduate, when I do my master, then I realize that maths is always there. So don't think that maths is not there. Maths is always there. Math will be always there. Whether you do biology, whether you do chemistry, maths will be always there. So be aware that you have some basic knowledge of maths. Try to understand at least some algebra, and then some this is geometry, and some basic mathematics that you have learned in your class 11 and 12. You should know. Maybe, yeah, trigonometry and all, you may not need it, but statistic for sure you require if you are into engineering. If you plan to do research, you need statistic. So statistic and some basic maths, you need to you need to understand. So there is, to my opinion, there is nothing wrong. Take any subject which you like to, which you are good at. Don't go by your friends that, oh, this subject is good, we should take. No, don't go by that. You know which subject you are good at. Whether if you are good at maths, go ahead with the maths, because every subject has its own fields. Every subject, you can become a professor, you can become a teacher, anything you can do with it. So don't worry, don't hear, and don't listen to your friend. My friend is doing engineering, so I should do engineering. No, nothing like that. If you can't do, and if you can't solve the problem, the mathematical problems, doing engineering, then you will fail in the engineering. Then what's the use? So instead of that, take something that is easier for you, that you feel that you are good at it. So you can go for biology, you can go for chemistry, you can go for physics. So yeah. So, and even in engineering also, there is something called biomedical engineering. So you can do that. Biomedical engineering, they are engaged in developing the instrument, just like the ECG instrument, the MRI, and all the instrument that you use in hospital are developed by those biomedical engineer. So you can also consider that. So yeah, so consider either engineering or this medicine, MBBS, these two.
Okay, thank you so much. Avidya,
Mm-hmm.
he actually says that same question, how will a pursue a scientist become like you? So as
Mm-hmm.
you right. So you want to know about like after graduation or after MSc, after BSc, how will she come to the USA or how will she study in MIT, like USCLA or like
Okay.
Cambridge, Oxford, like that. So they
Okay.
have some query.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's a good question actually. So yeah, if you want to, if you want to come to outside, either UK or USA, or for any other country, then just like I said before, if you take either engineering or medicine, that is the best way. Otherwise, there is not much demand. But in order to study outside, let's say you want to study undergrads or a master outside. So here I am in US, so I will talk more about the US. So here they have something called the education system is it's very different from India. Of course, it is useful in one way, but it has both advantage and disadvantage. So they follow here the credit system. In India also now they are introducing little bit, but India are not still very flexible. They can choose their own timeline. If they want to finish their course in 3 years, it is fine. In 4 years, it is fine. In 5 years, if they want to finish, it's fine. But in India, it is fixed. So that is one difference. And subject optionals are there. You can choose whatever you want. Even if you are a physics student, you can still go for history and take it. So it's up to you. So those flexibility are there. In India, we may not get that much. They have started introducing newly, according to this NEP, the latest NEP. It is good in one way, but it is not good in one way. So, and the second thing is here, it is very expensive. The education system is very expensive. If you want to, you have to pay around, I think minimum of $20,000 for your 1 year. So that is very huge amount. But for undergraduate, it will be very difficult because our parents, if your parents are able to afford you, it is okay. And then you can apply and then you may get in one of the college. There are many colleges, so you will get in one or the other. So it's all about money. It is very expensive for undergrads. For master, I think there are scholarships, and then since you are already a graduate, you are already a BA or BSc graduate already. So in that case, they will give you a loan, and then with the loan, then you study. You pay your tuition fees and other expenditure, and then later when you graduated, then you can repay back. You have to do a job. So now
Okay.
the thing is you cannot fail. You cannot fail. If you fail, then how are you going to repay your loan? So that is a big thing. So be well prepared. So yeah.
Understood. Okay, so basically, one girl
Mm.
wants to study MBBS,
Uh,
but we want to like prefer that will MBBS pursuing like is it good for abroad or good for India, or will like after 10th or after 12th will study like USA like some of the Chinese or the Ukraine or
uh,
USA? Yeah.
So, in my opinion, okay, I have lots of friends who are a medical doctor. As per my understanding here, the medical education system here is not very good. They might be good in one sense, but when I see, because doctor means you have to deal with a patient. So the more patient you get, the more experience you will get. So the India population is the largest population in the world now, right? We are above China. So you have lots of patient and you have lots of time and patient to deal with, so you can get experience. So that experience you will not get here because the population is very low here. So and the regulation is very strict. So I would say that you do your MBBS here in India, and then later, if you want to do your PG, then I think you can. I think you can come here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Daniel is basically from India and he is pursuing PhD from the University where I am pursuing my PhD from University of Delhi. He is completed with a doctorate now and currently is staying in UCLA where the Hollywood industry and setup, right, Daniel?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lots of Hollywood. Yeah, that's why it is an expensive city. Yeah.
He is staying in Los Angeles. Okay, so basically, Daniel,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Yeah, special thanks to Winit and all the best to all the students. Have a bright and an exciting career. Be humble always in everything you do. Light up the world. Okay, that is my final message.
thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much. And can you show me the